Hey, this is Lucy McMonagle, and today I'm going to discuss on how mystics can overcome not charging what they're really worth. And I am using a new program. I have hopefully been able to resolve any issues with the mic, and I would like to also, if you are on the Facebook Live, if you are watching me, let me know that you're here, because on my screen it basically shows that I'm talking to myself rather than to you, and I would like to have some interaction. I'm going to be answering any questions that you might type up in here if you have questions. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am and why it's important that we charge what our worth, and then I'm going to dive into some of the questions and some of the issues that my clients have had, as well as myself, and how you can overcome these issues. So my name's Lucy McMonagle. If you don't know who I am the Mystic Wealth Creator, and I mentor mystic entrepreneurs to create more freedom in their business through conscious wealth creation so that they can make a big impact in the world and leave a legacy, because I really truly believe that when we start accepting our mystical gifts, our true God-given gifts, and we bring these gifts out into the world, that we will be able to transcend and transform the world as we know it, so that they can start having more peace and more prosperity. This means putting an end towards poverty and putting an end towards war and violence and slavery. So if you're on a mission of some type, if you have it in your heart that you would really and truly like to be able to bring your special sauce into the world, I would love it if you would let me know. You can get a hold of me by going to putting comments down below. You can also make sure that you follow me on Facebook, and you can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. And if you're curious on whether or not you're a mystic, let's say you think you might be a mystic, but you're really not quite sure if you're a mystic. So here are some telltale signs that you're a mystic, but you might not even be aware of it. So you might have had these feelings, these sensations, or these emotions where you've had some paranormal or supernatural experiences. You may have always felt like you're some type of an outsider, like you have not really felt like you were home. So you may have had feelings that maybe you're homesick. Even if you were growing up, you may have always felt a little bit out of place. You probably had been very intelligent. You may have even been teased by children when you were growing up that you're brainy, that you're too smart, you're a smarty pants, or they might have called you all different names that made you feel insignificant, small, or irrelevant. And this directly affects on how you present yourself into the world. Some other effects that you may have had if you're a mystic is you may have been considered sensitive or been called too sensitive. You may have a sense of responsibility to humanity, and you totally dislike injustices. You might have vivid dreams. You might have knowingnesses. You might have some type of third sense, or they call it sixth sense. And you may have actually been told that you're an old soul. So these are some of the signs that mystics have, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you know you're a mystic. So I think my computer is using two different cameras. How interesting is that? So hopefully you've been able to see me now, because I didn't realize that I have two different cameras facing on me. So now, first I wanted to talk a little bit on, how you can start really knowing what you can charge for what you're worth, for what you're really worth. And some of the things that a lot of individuals will do is they'll place their value on somebody else's website or somebody else's service or somebody else's stuff. When you start placing your personal value on what other people are offering, you're not truly valuing yourself. And what I mean by this is, let's say you see on the website on somebody who's a potential competitor, or maybe somebody who doesn't have the same skills, abilities, or experiences that you have had. And you're like, oh, so and so charges this much for their program. Okay, well, I'm going to undercut them, and then I'm going to charge just a little bit less because I really, 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 really need to have the clients. When you start looking at pricing yourself in this capacity, you're not looking at your experience. You're not looking at your ability to overcome things. You're not looking at your soul attributes, what you're meant to bring into this world. You're not noticing that you can say the exact same things as somebody else. You can say the exact same words. You can have the same mannerism. You can act like this. And I'm going to use an example that Oprah Winfrey referred to when she had her statement on being enough. And she specified that when she first started, she wanted to be like Barbara Walters. And she tried to act like Barbara. She tried to talk like Barbara. She tried to be like Barbara. But she wasn't getting anywhere in her career until she decided to be herself, to be her. And as a mystic entrepreneur, or even as an entrepreneur of and in itself, truly understanding that when you're able to find out your core self. Now, I'm not talking about be you on the program self that you have with self-sabotaging behaviors that you might have had from growing up and a lot of your ego getting in the way. What I'm talking about is really start doing the deep inner work to find out who are you at your core. Start paying attention to how you can start noticing what are your soul attributes. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can tell what your soul attributes are that you're meant to bring into the world. You can tell by having a face analysis. You can tell what your soul attributes are to bring into the world by having a hand analysis. You can look to all of the different signs. We have astrology, we have natal charts, we have all different types of ways to help you put together all of these clues. But what really matters is when you start believing in yourself, even if believing in yourself is today I can get out of bed and brush my teeth. And that's an extreme case. So let's start diving in a little bit more. So first of all, you have a powerful story that you're meant to share into this world. Your story is what you have overcome. What has been your greatest challenge in this life? And what have you been able to overcome? My greatest challenge that I had in my life was to overcome extreme poverty, self-sabotaging behavior, negative thoughts, racing thoughts, almost to the borderline of ADHD, and being confused and feeling like I was abandoned and neglected. So these are the main things that I overcame, and I was able to process, and I was able to build strength from these experiences that I've had. These are some of the very basic things that I bring into my practice when I help individuals. Now, you also have unique gifts, unique powers. Some of my unique powers is I can find the energy that is within your ancestral timeline, and I can clear that energy. Once that is cleared from your family lineage, it automatically directly affects you, and it puts you back on the road in the path of your soul purpose and your soul mission. Now, make it clear, your soul purpose is different from your soul mission. Your purpose will always express itself. Every single moment of every day, your soul purpose will express itself. And I'm going to talk more about that in my next video next week. so that you'll understand the difference between purpose, destiny, and mission. But today I'm really going to focus on how to get more deeply inclined on what are some of the things that you can do to overcome not charging what you're really worth. The other thing you look at is to be able to understand that your skills, your talents, your creativity, your drive, your passion for your ideal client to work with you is between you and them. You have a sacred contract with an individual, with many individuals, that you're meant to have a change in life with. Your change in life could be for services you charge. Your change in life could be something that you're not even sure of. It might have been just you bumping into a stranger at a grocery store and telling that person, wow, I really, really love your hair, or I really love this about you. And that person had a completely different perception on themselves for the rest of the day. And that created a chain reaction. So let's really start looking at some of the hidden saboteurs that we might have. A lot of individuals want to help everybody because you have it in your heart. You want to help people. You can't stand the injustices. You can't stand how they're suffering. And you see that they're suffering so hard, so bad. You just want to help people. And so therefore you try to price it so everybody can afford you. And when I say you price it, looking at your packages, what are you pricing? What are you providing? For individuals that want to get started with you, the very first thing you look at is what can I provide for them that's affordable that they will be able to take. This is where you create an item that you can be calling it's an opt-in. This helps individuals. It solves one individual problem. It solves one little aspect, one little sliver. It helps them get a little boost from where they were from prior to after. So you can offer something for free that you create and then they sign up for. And it doesn't take your personal time. The second thing that you can start doing is you can create a small program. You can create videos. You can have a couple of classes. You can have calls that you pre-recorded, etc. And you can provide that for an affordable fee. This way you're reaching those people who just can't afford to pay you one-on-one to work with you. Your personal time is more valuable. Not that you're not giving good, high quality information through these other means, but in order to reach the people who don't have a lot of money, but they need to start someplace and they need your services, you can look at providing several products that are affordable, that can be purchased easily, and that can help build your list and also help them, your ideal client. So now we start getting into group programs. If you still want to be affordable and you want to be able to help more individuals, you can look at creating a group program that will help individuals have a group experience. Now, when you start pricing these items, you have to look at your experience, your time, your knowledge. What are the benefits that the individuals are getting? What are the results? And let me give you an example. So let's say you are looking to purchase a home, and in order to purchase the home, you need somebody to help you with that paperwork if you're not qualified to fill out the paperwork. You need somebody that's going to look at the house to make sure that the house has a strong foundation. And you need somebody to make sure that the house has everything proper so it's not going to start on fire, or it's not going to harm anybody, etc. So you need several different people who are an expert in that particular field in order to put this together. You have a particular expertise from your life experiences, from the work that you've been doing, from the jobs that you have had, and looking at these expertise abilities that you have, really understanding that all of this put together creates your worth. So now we're looking at, you have all of these individuals, they have certain expertise. A housing inspection costs approximately $500 depending on where you live in the United States. The housing inspection actually only takes like 2.5 hours in order to go through the whole house and do the inspection. So if it's $500 for 2.5 hours, that breaks down to per hour rates. But looking at the benefit of what the individual can get is far greater than that $500, because then you're absolutely certain that there's nothing wrong with the house, or if there is something wrong with the house, you're aware of it beforehand. If you are starting to look at, okay, so I provide this service, this service, this service, my life experiences have helped me to be able to help people clear their energy. For an example, one of my clients was having a difficult time trying to figure out how to create a package. She was absolutely frightful that she wasn't going to be able to provide a good package. So looking at the elements of a good package, this would be for a group program, or it could be for a one-on-one program for a package. So the first element, what are the benefits that the individuals are going to get? What is the end result? Some of the end results of individuals who take my Mystics Starter program is that they will be on the right path for their soul purpose, their soul mission. They'll understand what their soul attributes are, what they're meant to bring into the world, so they're not fumbling around trying to figure out, well, I'm really good at this, but I'm really good at that, and maybe I should focus on this, but but then I really love to do that. So you have clarity. You have more wealth, because when you have wealth, you have clarity. And when you're able to look at, okay, so this is what the clients are going to get. Okay, so how do I get them to that point? How do I get them to this point? Now, please understand that when individuals first start working with you, if you give them a gallon of information in a shot glass amount of money, they're going to be overwhelmed, they're going to be completely freaked out, and they're not going to get the benefits. So you have to provide just a small amount of information per program so that the individuals will be able to ingest it, process it, work through it. So you look at your program and you set it up. Okay, this is the end result. Is this going to be too much for them to chew? If this is really going to be a really, really difficult program, trying to get that end result in a short amount of period might not be accurate. You have to look at how long will it take them to go through your process? How long will it take them to start creating and fulfilling the doing aspects of your program? Looking at how this is going to help them. Then you start creating it backwards. You have the end result, you know what this is going to do for them, and then you put the elements of this. So let's start out with just a small starter program that's 8 weeks long. In the 8 weeks program, at the end, let's say you're going to have the ability to how to create a professional video. You're going to have the ability to be able to know how to create basic copywriting. You'll be able to know what your worth is, and you'll be able to determine how you should charge for that. And you create different types of modules. Now you can create the first module or have the idea of this program, and then you bring it to your clients. You bring it to your list, you bring it to your social media, and you start asking people, I'm going to be doing a starter program for 8 weeks, and this is how much it is. Please let me know. So you start asking people if they're willing to purchase this program before you actually create it. This will help you overcome your fears of how much should I create it? How much should I charge? How much should I not charge? So you sell it before you create it. If individuals are not signing up for any of it, if they're not giving you any type of response, do a survey. Find out what are their needs, and how can you provide that need? How can you fulfill that need? When you start getting responses from individuals, and then you start realizing, oh, okay, so this is what they're looking for, and I thought they wanted this. And then asking individuals, are you willing to pay this much for this? Are you willing to pay that much? If you start doing surveys, you find out how much your clients are willing to pay for certain elements, and then being able to create the package afterwards. This is going to alleviate some of the suffering and the pain and staying up for all of those long, long nights on whether or not you're going to be creating this package. Now, if you don't have a really strong tribe, if you don't have a strong list, you don't have a strong social media following, start asking individuals that you've already talked to, start reaching out to individuals in networking meetings and other ways to find out what their main pain is. What are they suffering from? And do you have the solution? If you don't have the solution, they're not your tribe. No worries. Find individuals who have the same pain points that you can solve. Again, we're coming back to having clarity. Clarity is really, really important. So some of the questions that you need to ask yourself in addition to this is, do you always have the feeling of not being enough or not doing enough? When you have the not enoughness, you will find yourself doing and doing and doing and working yourself ragged, trying to get clients, trying to make your business work, and yet it's not working because you still have this playing in the background. Those energies and self-sabotages can be cleared, and they can be cleaned from you. I help you remove energetic saboteurs from your life, from your mind, from your subconscious mind. Let's say you're asking yourself, do I settle for less? Am I willing to take something that will do rather than something that I really truly want? And if you do this in some areas of your life, where else do you do this? Now I'm going to give you an example that I just recently had an experience of. I'm in the process of purchasing my own home, and I found a house that would do. I was starting to feel a time crunch. I'm going to be on the road again. I'm not going to have time to look for houses, etc. And it was a beautiful house, absolutely gorgeous, but it just wasn't right for me. And I was almost ready to settle. And I really had to stop and really start thinking, what am I settling for? Why am I settling? And within a couple of days of really doing the inner work on clearing those energies and taking the action steps that I needed to, I found my dream home. Absolutely perfect. Really looking at what kind of inner work can I do in order to clear these obstacles. What if it's something that you're not even aware of? What if you keep having these circumstances, these patterns that keep coming up over and over again, but you don't know where the source came from? Some of the things that can help you find the source that prevents you from charging what you're really worth is energetic work, is clearing work, is something that might not necessarily be very obvious to you, and finding the subtle patterns that are going on within you are going to help you to prevent you from creating the issues over and over and over again. So some of the other things that you can look at is, do you get completely freaked out when you start comparing yourself to other people? In the beginning, I started talking about if you are actually going to start looking at other people's packages, looking at their stuff, looking at how they're pricing them, and then you start trying to model those other people, it's not going to work for you, not in the long run. And really starting to look at, how can I start looking for my personal values, my personal integrity, my personal worth, doing the surveys, finding out what your clients want, selling packages before you create them. For the individuals that can't afford to work with you in a group or on one-on-one, creating individual packages for these individuals, for them. Or you can even write a book so that it's very affordable. I wrote the book Magical Money Manifestations, which is a very powerful book that is helping people break through their money barriers, their money blocks, and their mindset blocks. And it's the very first step in order to come into working with me, is they have to clear their mindset issues to a certain level before you can start having generational clearings and having information that I'm giving you on a higher level. If you're interested in purchasing my book, if that's where you're at, you can find it on Amazon. It's Magical Money Manifestations. So if you need some help figuring out how do you create a good package, and you've already done some of the legwork, you already kind of know who your ideal client is, you're already moving forward, or maybe you're shifting gears and you've been successful, but you're looking to become a little bit different. Maybe you're bringing your mystic powers into your business, where before you were completely practical, straight-laced, square. I was square. I was totally square. There's nothing wrong with that word. Just wanted to make sure you understood that. I'm not saying that in a bad way. But let's say you're ready to really start bringing your soul self into the world, and you have a lot of fear. You have a lot of not only fear, but you also have a lot of hesitations. Procrastinations is the word that I was looking for. And as you bring your words, as you bring your powers, as you bring your gifts into this world, I can help you, A, discover what are your soul gifts? What are you meant to bring into the world? I can help you clean up any energies. I can help you with your mindset, and I can also help you with creating packages. Now, my specialty is helping you discover what your true mystical powers are. And I also have starter programs to help you really start cleaning up the mindset issues, to help cleaning up the issues that you have moving forward. Now, some of the things that I can help you with right in this moment is starting to look at, how do I, by listening to, let's say you're listening to other people to determine what your packages are. When I say other people, I don't mean a coach. I don't mean somebody who has already been there. I mean, you're talking to your friends who are not entrepreneurs. You're talking to your family members who are not entrepreneurs, who don't understand what exactly you do, but they kind of get it. And they're equating their job, which is hours for dollars, to what you're trying to create, which is an entrepreneurship. If you start talking to other people who do not understand entrepreneurship or the journey or the processes that you go through for the greatest personal development that you could ever do, is being a true entrepreneur, then you're not really going to be able to charge what you're worth. Another thing is ignoring your inner voice. When you start ignoring I don't mean the very loud voice that your mind is telling you, your ego mind is telling you. I'm talking about that very quiet, very deep, resonant inner voice, your intuition. If you are ignoring that deep internal voice, and or you're having mixed signals because you're getting too much static, too much information from the outside world, and too much static with your ego mind, you're not going to get to the core of what you should charge and what your worth is. Individuals are not paying you for your degrees. They're not paying you for how many hours you put in working out, or how many hours you put in studying, or how many hours it took you to create the diction. They're paying you for the results. If you have a broken arm, you want to see a specialist who handles broken bones. That specialist charges more money, not because it takes them 10 minutes to set your arm properly, but you're paying them because your arm is going to set properly because of their expertise, because they know exactly what they're doing. So you're paying for all of the years that they studied so that you can get the exact result that you want. So when you start looking at what are the results that you can provide your individual clients, what are you providing for an exchange of energy? If you have some issues with money, if you have money issues, if you start feeling, oh my gosh, I'm going to sound greedy, or what will other people think of me if I charge this month? It's not your business. What other people think of you in regards to that is not your business. That's their own personal opinions with their own personal sabotages, with their own personal stuff. It's what you think about you and what you're providing to the world, and really holding strong on that, even when sometimes it becomes very, very difficult. As an entrepreneur, we have income coming in, we have income coming down. So if you'd like to get a hold of me, if you maybe have some confusion, if you're not quite sure on how to put together things, how to create your business, how to make your business go, let's have a discovery call so I can help you be able to find out what your soul purposes are. What are you meant to bring into this world? Once you focus on your soul attributes and what you're meant to bring into this world, and you start focusing on how to bridge your spirituality with your practicality and step-by-step actions, you're going to be able to start creating your business that is more functional, that's going to stop you from running the rat race, and it's going to help you get more collective. You can go to chat, C-H-A-T, with, W-I-T-H, Lucy, Luci.com, chatwithlucy.com, to get unstuck, to be able to help you determine if maybe I'm the right mentor for you. Am I the right individual? How can I help you understand what you are meant to bring into this world, and how can I help you bridge your spirituality with practicality? So I'll ask you a couple of questions on that form so that you can help me prepare, so that I know who you are and what your needs are. And if I'm not the right person, I will refer you to somebody that I feel would be a good person, or I will refer you to a resource. I do not work with everybody just simply because they create a discovery session with me. I work with the individuals that I know that I can help, because your success is more important to me than whether or not I have another dollar in my bank account. So again, you can go to chatwithlucy.com. I'm not into hard sales. I'm into, is this the right fit? And let's explore how I can help you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until next week, abundant blessings.